All right, Miles, let's talk about the Houston Texans here for a little bit. The Texans have obviously been in the news. They brought in a new head coach. D'Amico Ryans looks to be a smash hit. Maybe the number 2 overall pick in the draft. They're looking to make big moves, also free agency, also in the draft. But they had another move that they made recently, Miles, that's kind of gone under the radar that I think could be absolutely massive for this team.
Yeah, Nick. And outside of, hiring coaching staff and stuff like that, the biggest move that Texans fans have to look forward to next is the start of the free agency period. And they have quite a good bit of money, somewhere in between that $37 million range, to go spend a little bit of money on some free agents. And that's why I want to know, Texans fans, who would you like to try to target in free agency? It seems all accounts pointing to, you're going to get a shiny new quarterback in the draft with that number 2 pick. What kind of receiver do you want to get him? Do you want to get him any other kind of offensive lineman? What kind of position do you want the Texans to target in the draft? But Nick, what recent upgrade have the Texans made?
Right. So, of course, you're talking about additions, right? The position that I think everyone is looking at the Houston Texans to address, especially in the draft with the number 2 overall pick, is, of course, the quarterback position. They've been linked to Bryce Young. They've been linked to C.J. Stroud. At this point, it's just going to play out the pre-draft process, the combine, the pro days, all that kind of stuff, the interviews to see which guy is going to be their guy because they need a franchise quarterback. Love Davis Mills. He's not the franchise quarterback. We all kind of found that out last season. So they definitely, it seems all indications that they are going quarterback in the draft. And what does that mean when you have a young quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback? You need to pair him up with a great quarterbacks coach to get him off on the right foot, be that mentor, be that leader, bring him up to speed. And the Houston Texans are doing just that. This is according to USA Today. The Texans have hired Minnesota Vikings assistant quarterbacks coach Gerard Johnson as their new quarterbacks coach, replacing the duo of offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton and offensive assistant Ted White. For those of you who aren't familiar with Johnson, this guy has been like a journeyman quarterback, backup quarterback in his NFL days, played for a bunch of teams, played for Texas A&M in college, was very productive. I think he was a player in the NFL from 2011 to 2016. He's worked his way through the coaching ranks. Is seen by a lot of people as an up-and-coming coach right here. So the Houston Texans under Ryans as their new head guy, I think have really hit the nail on the head with this hire. Because if you bring in a young quarterback, you want a guy as his quarterback's coach, the guy that's going to be in the office every day with him, teaching him the ropes, getting him spun up, working with him on the game plan, a guy who's been there before, a younger guy who can match that energy too. I think it's a great hire by the Houston Texans here, Miles.
Yeah, Nick. And I think Johnson is really a great culture hire for Houston. And that seems kind of what they've been going for. A guy like D'Amico Ryans played for the Texans for many, many years, coming home. Now he's with the Texans. A guy like Gerard Johnson, born in Houston, Texas, coming home to coach in Houston. And then this guy played football at Texas A&M, and he was a really great quarterback there. I believe when he left school, he was ranked first in school history in passing yardage and total offense. He was then passed later by Kellen Mond and Johnny Manziel. But, at the time, he was the real deal in college at Texas A&M. He seemed to put up a lot of numbers. So, he, like you said, he's got a litany of teams that he has played for throughout the NFL. All kinds of teams. You look from the Eagles to the Steelers, Seahawks, Bears, even the Ravens and the Cowboys, Nick. He's been all around the league. He knows how the offensive side of the ball works. So this is just a really great move to me. A savvy veteran quarterback who's going to come in as a quarterback's coach, and he has prior coaching experience. This isn't like the Panthers hiring of Josh McCown, where he really hasn't had too much coaching experience yet. This guy's been coaching since 2017 in some capacity. So I really like him working his way up the ranks and now coming to Houston. And if he is hired by D'Amico Ryans, I trust that it's going to be a good hire because he seems to really have his head on straight and know what he wants for this Houston, Texas team.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up the Panthers hiring McCown, right? Because we're seeing that trend develop now between teams that want to do well at the quarterback position. Obviously, every team wants to do well, but teams that actually do it right, they seem to go out and get generally former quarterbacks to be the quarterback's coach, right? You look at Josh Allen in Buffalo, right? They had Ken Dorsey. We talked about the Panthers. They brought in McCown, former quarterback. The Chargers hired former Dallas Cowboy offensive coordinator Kellen Moore to come in and help Justin Herbert. The Jaguars did that with Doug Peterson, bringing him into the fold to be the head coach, but he's really the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach as well for Trevor Lawrence. That is the theme we're seeing in the NFL right now. And all the teams that do that seem to be the teams run smart. They seem to be very successful. That's why I think this is a great hire here by Houston, bringing in Johnson. And I really love the fact that they're really just understanding that all that really matters for them is the quarterback getting that right. And that's the way it is with any franchise. And look at the team that's the best example of a team that really stunk for a number of years, but turned it around very quickly. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about it earlier today, Miles, the fact that they kept their quarterback's coach who did a great relationship with Joe Burrow. They've done amazing things. the Houston Texans under DeMeco Ryans are trying to follow that model, which I think is really, really smart, because once you have that quarterback and that great relationship with that quarterback's coach, you can build and grow quickly and very, very quickly become a force. And I think will be a very winnable AFC South going forward, because I think it's just a wide open division. So all in all, this is a great hire by the Houston Texans and a great sign of things to come.